the day went on, I hardly recognized myself. I wanted to punch someone in the face just for talking to me, and I thought the nice lady who had brought brownies to share deserved a 3-day suspension. One of my coworkers asked me why I thought I was behaving so oddly. I gave him the sugar withdrawal line, and he said, "Okay, maybe, but this isn't you. This is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You're exactly opposite the person I know. Why is sugar, or rather the lack of sugar, doing this to you?" His words settled deep in the pit of my stomach. He was right. Though I had shrugged off my behavior as inconsequential, a simple symptom that would soon be over, the fact that I had crashed so hard was no laughing matter. I was behaving like a drug addict in rehab, and the similarities made me realize that sugar had a stronger hold on me than I thought. I didn't like the person I was when I was off sugar. The symptoms continued for another 3 days, and they got worse before they got better. I even considered calling off work the next day because I didn't want to say or do something that I would later regret, like issuing that suspension over the yummy brownies that still haunted my dreams. I marveled at the change in me, and my husband, Flavio, even suggested that this crazy experiment wasn't worth it. "Just have a piece of chocolate cake," he suggested good-naturedly. "I want my wife back." But competitive person that I am, I pushed through, and on day 8 I woke up to find my cravings had disappeared. I felt like I had just survived a monsoon in the middle of the ocean, and the waters had suddenly become calm as the sun poked through the clouds. I stopped craving food, and the platter of cookies that sat next to me at work that day didn't faze me in the least. I even smiled at the thoughtful person who brought them in. That whole week, I marveled at the transformation. Gradually, I stopped feeling hungry. In fact, I stopped having an appetite at all. This scared me, but for once I was free of the sugar monster perched on my shoulders, and I was okay with that. I felt a renewed sense of energy as my body went into ketosis, burning high amounts of stored fat to survive. As I drove home from work one day, I realized that this is what it feels like to be free from food addiction, to finally control what and how I eat. This utter indifference toward food was new to me, and I felt empowered. I began skipping meals, and the lack of hunger encouraged me to keep cutting food out. My body changed also, and I liked the feel of my slender tummy and how my jeans began fitting more loosely every week. The power was intoxicating, but alarm bells were sounding. I recognized the beginning signs of an eating disorder, and my husband and mom expressed concern as well. After the 30 days were over, I abandoned the diet for fears of slipping into a more dangerous eating pattern. But with no plan of re-entry into the large world of food, I soon slipped into my old habits of eating everything I desired, and more. My weight began to pile back on, and I was back on the food addiction roller coaster, binge eating, gaining weight, then dieting a few weeks, only to slip into another binge and throw the whole plan out the window, gorging on food some more. As high as my victory felt during the 30-day challenge, the crash of the following weeks was lower still. I began researching the world of food disorders and diets. I wanted to get off the diet roller coaster, and as my little baby turned into a toddler, I wanted to model for her a healthy relationship with food. I didn't want her to inherit my food struggles. In the months that followed, without even realizing the shift, I had gone from food addiction to food fixation. I became obsessed with thoughts and longings for food. At times, I would daydream about living a healthy life, filled with green smoothies, quinoa bowls, kale salads, and 3-mile runs. And just a few minutes later, I would see a brownie cheesecake chocolate chip cookie concoction on Pinterest and immediately abandon my best intentions as I started toward the kitchen. I spent hours each day scouring forums and scanning websites, reading books and pinning graphics, collecting recipes and noting best practices. Conversations centered around the diet tips and tricks my friends and I had tried that worked and didn't, and it soon became a